Good afternoon, everyone. You are looking at a live polling place in France via Reuters. And we are here to bring you live coverage of the second and final round of the French parliamentary election, a very important election in France. The big question is, will the far-right National Rally Party win enough seats to take a majority in government there and take control of the government? I would say the common wisdom is the current expert prediction is that they won't have a majority. We'll talk about that, but this is a certainly shaping up to be a big loss for President Macron's centrist coalition, and it certainly is expected that the hard right National Rally Party will get the most votes and the most seats in the more powerful lower house of the parliament in France. So the way it's going to work is in an hour and 24 minutes, some polls are already closed in France, but in an hour and 24 minutes, all the polls will close, and they will release this exit poll, which is seen as reliable, which should give us a good idea of what the results will be. I think maybe we'll have to see what the commentary is on it, but I know that in the first round, the exit poll gave us a good idea of what would happen. So important exit polling information coming out in an hour and 23 minutes when the polls close. And we're going to bring you some coverage here. We're going to take some comments and questions for you. At Lookner on X is where you can reach me. I'll be reading messages from the chat as well. And I am not an expert. I am certainly not an expert on French politics, but I will do my best with my basic degree of knowledge to try to situate you in what's going on in this election. And also we'll have some live footage. I have a different live shot to show you. Here, I'll show you a different. So this is in, where is this? I don't know where exactly this particular feed is from. Let me see if I can figure it out. No, it's from Reuters. I don't know where in France this is. I also have a live shot from Tully in France. Tully. Let me show you that one. Oopsie. Hold on. Hang on a moment here. I need to do this. There it is. That's a different shot in France. Look at that. Do you like that one better? I can leave that one up if you like that one better. I kind of like both of them. We'll leave that one up for a second. But people voting in France. So I appreciate you guys joining the stream. Let me say a couple quick thank yous. Hey, thanks. By the way, thanks to Debbie James and Janet Burnett for the gift memberships. That's so nice of you guys. Thank you. And thanks to all of our moderators who are here. We have Richard Williams from the UK. He's in Europe moderating. Thank you, Richard. Ruth Grafasi is here. Thanks so much, Ruth, for being here. Linda Belk and Larry moderate for us on X. We also have, hang on a moment here. Pull this up. We have David Green and Papa Bear moderating on Twitch. Thank you. And we have over there on Facebook moderating right now. Go back to the other one. Oops, hold on. By the way, our viewer Graziella Wynn says, Tully is where former President Hollande voted earlier today. He is a candidate. You mean for Parliament? Is he a candidate? Thanks, Graziella, for writing in. Hey, thanks to Kay Larry Body and Margaret Riley who are moderating. Thank you. So let me kind of go over what's going on here. So in France, Macron is the president, but domestic policy is run by the lower house there in France. It can be a little confusing, but they're really the ones who run domestic policy. This is France's National Assembly. It's the lower house of parliament, and they have 577 seats. And if somebody gets a majority in the National Assembly, they run the government, and the president still has to appoint the prime minister, but the prime minister will be of the party that has the majority. So basically, they get to choose the prime minister. So the prime minister and the cabinet, they're not chosen by the president. They're based on who has power in the National Assembly. And the National Assembly, the parliament that's getting elected today, they are the ones who, through the prime minister and the cabinet, they are the biggest influence on domestic policy in France. So it's really important in France who gets to be in charge of the National Assembly. What happened is Macron did not need to call an election for now. He could have waited till, I believe, 2027 to call an election. But what happened is last month there were these European parliamentary elections in Europe where different European countries elected representatives to the European Parliament. And in those elections in France, the far-right National Rally Party did better than any other party. It was surprising. They did the best. And very shortly after those European parliamentary elections, Macron, who has a centrist coalition, he called for national elections in France, for these National Assembly elections. So he didn't have to do this. And there's a lot of theorizing about why he did it. But one theory is that he called these elections because he wanted to show that when all these people voted for the National Rally Party in the European Parliament elections last month, it was just a protest vote, and people in France really don't support them that much. Well, it turns out they do have a good degree of support in France, because last week, when the first round of these National Assembly elections happened in France, the National Rally Party, the far-right National Rally Party, they're really big on anti-immigration. The National Rally Party, they actually got the most votes in the first round of the election. They got 33%. I believe Macron's centrist coalition only got 21%. So if Macron's strategy was, hey, let's have a parliamentary vote to show that the National Rally actually doesn't have as much support as it looked like they had in the European Parliament vote, if that was his strategy, that backfired, because they're going to get the most votes, it looks like, in this of any party in this election. But the question is not what percent of the vote you get; it's how many seats you get. So the way it works is, in each part of France, people elect one person to be their representative to the National Assembly. So the biggest question of the day is, will the National Assembly get a majority, and its allies, I guess, but basically, will the National Assembly have enough seats to control the lower house of Parliament and therefore to control the government? And what happened between last week and this week is the centrists, Macron's centrist, and this left-wing coalition, which I think is called the New Popular Front, if I'm getting that right. Yes. the centrists and the left-wingers who don't like each other, they basically reached an agreement because they didn't want the National Rally to be in power. So in different areas of France, I don't know if it's called a constituency, I forget, but in different constituencies in France, where you know, different locations where people vote for a single representative, they strategically withdrew candidates. So, for example, if there were you had to get a certain amount of votes to qualify for the second round, but in the second round there might be a National Rally candidate, a centrist candidate, and a left-wing candidate. And what the left-wing and the centrists have done is for a lot of these seats, they have withdrawn one of the non-National Rally candidates so that all of the non-National Rally vote could unite behind a single candidate. Do you see what I mean? So that way the anti-National Rally vote wouldn't be split. And because they have done this, I believe over 200 candidates between the centrists and the left wing withdrew after last week. It is expected that the National Rally actually won't get enough seats to have a majority, if that makes sense. So, and that's brought some controversy because from what I understand, the National Rally would say like, that's just, that there's something wrong with that because these groups that are working with each other don't believe the same things and they're not in the same party and they're just doing these political maneuvers to keep us out of power. But it is believed that those strategic withdrawals of candidates between the first and second round will make it so that National Rally doesn't get a majority, but you never know, So, oops, I'll have to go back. Let me go back to the other video. Further live coverage, let's go back to the AFP video. Let's do that. Hold on. Oh, you know what I realized? For this video, it's not up high enough. There you go. Now let me go back to the other video. Hold on. Here. There you go. Okay. So, but certainly, whatever the outcome of this election, it's going to result in the far-right National Rally Party. And I call them far-right. Sometimes people have an issue and they say, why are you calling them far-right? Go look at various major news outlets, and they pretty much all use this term. So if you disagree with far-right, that's fine, but plenty of major news outlets around the world use this term to describe them. So I am using it as well. But I'm not saying all far-right parties are the exact same, but I'm letting you know. I'm not going to debate that during this broadcast. I'm just letting you know why I'm saying this, okay? You can find plenty of different major news outlets all across the world using this terminology. So you can, if you want to dispute that, that's fine. But I'm not going to, for the purpose of this broadcast, dispute that, okay? Anyways, we'll talk about what the different parties support too. But the National Rally Party is going to have, and a really big part of their platform is anti-immigration, lessening immigration, taking benefits away from non-native citizens, and this kind of thing. That's one thing they're known for. They also have other views too, but that's a big part of their platform. And the National Rally Party in recent years has tried to soften their appearance a bit and make themselves more palatable to a general French voting audience. They used to be known years ago for anti-Semitism. That's not something they're particularly known for now, definitely. You can read articles about them. That's not a part of their platform is anti-Semitism. That's something they were known more for in the past. I can't speak to what everybody in the party believes, but there has been an effort in recent years by the by the National Rally. They actually changed. They used to be known as, I think it was the National Front. And part of this effort was changing the name to National Rally. Marine Le Pen, who's the current figurehead of the party, I believe she actually a few years ago kicked her father out of the party, who was one of the founding figures, if not the founding figure of the party. Certainly the best known figure for years of the party. So it's a party that has tried to kind of, again, soften their appearance a little bit to get a wider to be more widely acceptable. But this party has never been in power in France, and the last time a far-right party was in power in France was in World War II, I believe. So anyways, it's a big shift to have this party, this right-wing anti-immigration party, doing the best in the elections. And Macron's centrist coalition is expected to come in third. They're expected to lose a bunch of their seats. It's expected, the predicted order today is right-wing National Rally, left-wing coalition, New Popular Front, and then Macron's centrist alliance. That's the predicted outcome, but we'll have to see what happens. And then another thing is, it could get really messy there if nobody wins enough seats to, like if the National Rally doesn't win a majority, it's very possible that they might not have enough allies to be able to have a majority in government, so they won't be able to form a government. And you might just say, okay, Steve, well, if National Rally, the right wing, doesn't win a majority, why don't the centrists and the left-wingers just get together and they can combine their seats in parliament and then they can have a majority? The problem is a couple things, but the left and the center in France traditionally do not like each other. For example, the centrists right now under Macron are a very pro-business party, but like the left wing wants higher taxes, more wealth taxes. Macron, for example, actually it was a big thing there. He raised the retirement age. The left wing wants to lower the retirement age. And also, I was reading an article about this last night. There is not a tradition of big political compromise in France. So normally, the center and the left wing would not work with each other. So it's not so easy as saying, oh, the center and the left can just combine their seats in parliament, and there you go, they'll control the government. So it's anticipated that this could be a very messy situation where no one is in clear control, no party's in clear control of the government. And also, one other thing I want to point out, what was I going to mention here on this? I forgot my point I was going to make. But anyways, maybe I'll remember it in a second. What was I going to say? We were talking about no one being in control of the government. Oh, so normally what happens in France is normally the parliament elections, which are going on right now, those come right after the presidential election. Normally every 5 years you get a presidential election and a parliament election. And because they're around the same time, normally the same party wins both, right? So normally if they have a presidential election and the president from party X wins the election, well, if they have that means people in the country generally are supportive of party X, and if they have the parliamentary election right after that, well, odds are you're going to have the president's party control parliament. But what makes this different is the presidential election was in 2022. Is that correct? Is that when it was, 2022? Just want to make sure. I believe so. Yes. And the next one's supposed to be in 2027. But rather than waiting for 2027 to have the parliamentary election, Macron chose to have it now. So normally the parliamentary election and the presidential election are around the same time. But because Macron chose to have the parliamentary election now rather than 2027, they're not at the same time. So this has happened before in France, where you have a different party controlling the parliament than the president's party. That's called cohabitation, I believe. But we might have a situation where it's not. It's just kind of a mess in parliament because there's no one clearly in control. So, anyways, we'll have to see what happens when the results come in. But you can keep in your mind the biggest question is how well will the right-wing national rally do? Our viewer Rye Guy says Le Pen and National Rally will not get a majority. The left is motivated to stop her. Look at the turnout. Yes, good point about the turnout from Rye Guy. The turnout is very high. So as of a short while ago, the turnout was the highest in, I think, around 40 years. Yes. The turnout is on track to be the highest in over 4 decades, I just read. Let me get you an update about that. But turnout is quite high. Now, there's a lot of interest in this election, so I can't say who that's good for or not. But there's a lot of interest in this election, clearly. I think an hour or two ago, the turnout was like 20% higher than it had been in the last parliamentary election. Hey, a quick thanks to Solitude. Hey, thanks so much, Solitude, who is from Brazil. That's so nice of you. Thanks for supporting, and I'm really glad you watched from Brazil. Thank you, Solitude. That's really kind of you. Thank you. Also, thanks to William Smith for your support, Liam Griffin, Pat W. for the gift memberships, and also thank you, Tampata, who says, I follow this topic with great interest as it's going to affect all of us Europeans. Hello to chat and have a great Sunday wherever you are. Thank you, Tampata X. Thank you, Tampata X, and also thanks for bringing up Europe. So another big thing about the National Rally Party, they're known, the right-wing, far-right National Rally Party, they are known for being anti-immigration, but they also are known for being Eurosceptic. They are against closer ties with the rest of Europe, with the European Union. They would like less ties. So they are not for European integration. I don't know all their specific views on this, but it's well known they are a Eurosceptic party. They have a skeptical views on European integration. So, and France is a very important country when it comes to European integration. So, if they were to take power in France, you could have significantly less French involvement and support for European integration in the European Union. That could make a big difference. And I don't know how it'll affect it if, I don't know the specifics and how to expect it might affect things if they're not in power, but nobody's really in power in the lower house because nobody got enough seats. But that is something to keep in mind. Two of the big things they're known for, the National Rally, are anti-immigration and Euroscepticism. So you're looking. Oh, let me go back to the other video. By the way, we have some video from Reuters and AFP. There you go. So in just an hour and 1 minute, we'll get the big French exit poll. Agrajag TV says Le Frexit. I haven't heard talk of that, but they are a Eurosceptic party. Let me see also, I was trying to get you some information about the exit poll. But I believe that exit poll there's like one exit poll that comes out, one prominent one. And I believe it's seen as quite reliable. Hang on, I was trying to just get you an update here. I was trying to look that up. Yes, so what Reuters, for example, says at 8 p.m., you get this exit poll coming out based on partial early results from polling stations that closed earlier in the day. These are usually reliable. A bunch of the polls closed, I believe, an hour ago. But again, the exit poll that comes out in less than an hour when the rest of the polls close is seen as reliable. So we should have a good idea of what happens coming up at in 59 minutes. You know what's interesting? I heard somebody say this last night, some analyst. So in the first round of the elections, the far-right National Rally Party got 33%. And so suppose they get something like that. They're not supposed to get a majority in Parliament because it's projected they'll have less than a majority in Parliament, although we'll see. But in the UK election, the way it turned out is I think that Labour got 34%, but they got close to like 60% of the seats or something like that. So it's interesting that they could have similar percentages. They might end up with Labour in the UK and National Rally in France might end up with very similar vote percentages, but the percentage of seats they have in Parliament could be quite different. It's just because of this way this system is, it's not a proportional system. Your number of seats in Parliament that your party gets is not based on your total vote across the country. It's just in each seat, in each location in the country, there's a separate vote. And whoever gets the most votes wins. Hey, thanks to Desi Des for your support. I appreciate it, Desi Des. Thank you. Jonas says, winner takes it all system. In UK, I think it's called first past the post. Although, to be clear, in the first round, I think you had to get 12.5%. Oh, they might be counting these ballots here. In the first round, I think maybe they just closed here. That's what some of the polls are closed and some of them are still open. I think in the first round, you had to get 12.5% to move to the second round. So my guess is that this is a polling station which is closed. Some of them are open and some of them are closed right now. The rest of them close in 57 minutes. But just eyeballing this, it kind of looks like it's a place where they've closed it. I would think. And on AFP we have, hold on, where is it here? Oh. What I'm gonna do is get you a different feed. Hold on. Yeah, one of our viewers said 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. in City 8 p.m. Yeah, my understanding was that some of them closed at 6 p.m. local and some of them closed at 8 p.m. local. That was my understanding too. But this, it looks like they're counting them there. Yes, so Reuters says it's 6 p.m. polls close in small towns and cities and 8 p.m. in big cities. Okay, let me take some of your comments here. And thanks to Ohio Rando. Ohio Rando says, in theory, if no clear majority winner, could Macron announce another parliamentary election? So if I remember right, wouldn't he have to wait like a year to do that? Am I wrong about this? Some of our, I think we have a couple of viewers from France, so they might say too. I thought he had to wait for a year. Cheryl Simpson says yes. Anthony L. says 1 year must pass before next elections. New Dragon says has to wait a year. I'm from France. I believe he has to wait a year. Okay. So I'm trying to, some people are saying, where is this video from? So it's from France, but I got to figure out where. I don't know if Reuters posted where. Let me also check something else. I don't know that they ever posted where it was. Yeah, I honestly don't know where this is because it's like a mixed feed. But it's that looks like a place where votes are being counted. There's also this one. Where's this one? Oops. Oh, oh, hold on. I got to refresh this. That's from AFP. Let's refresh. I'll show you a different one. Hang on a moment. Hang on a moment, everyone. Hang on a moment, everyone. This should work, I think. Maybe it didn't work. Let's see. Yes. So there is some place where people are voting. That's a place where people are still voting. Oh, this is in Paris. This is Paris right here. From AFP. You're looking at Paris right now. It says Paris right on it. All right, there's people still voting in Paris. Dr. Ricardo Aguilar Hernandez says, go Le Pen. I don't know who runs that exit poll. I don't know if it's from multiple media outlets or one of them or what. I don't know. All right, I want to kind of sum up what's going on here. Hold on, let me just check some things too. There's so much to do. Sorry I didn't get on a little earlier, but I think we're going to have. Also. Oh, now there's concerns there could be violence after. Let's hope there's no violence after the results are announced. But hang on. Do this. Get that out. But that is a concern as well, so something we'll keep an eye on. Here is here. Okay. Do they get the election results the same day? There will be an exit poll released in 51 minutes, which is seen as reliable, but I believe that the results would be in the morning. So you don't get the complete results right away. In the morning their time. GG thinks pulling candidates is cheating. That's what GG thinks. So again, what has happened is in the first round of voting last week, the right wing, the anti-immigrant Euroskeptic Party National Rally that's the party of Marine Le Pen, they did the best. They got 33%. And since last week, the left wing and the center basically agreed to withdraw a bunch of candidates. Over 200 candidates withdrew. So so that there would be a single opposition candidate to the National Rally candidate, rather than the opposition to National Rally being two candidates who split their vote, who split the anti-RN vote. So because they did that, and that was expected to happen to some degree, because they did that, now the National Rally is not predicted to win a majority. I do have an estimate of seats I saw. Let me give you an estimate of seats. But then, the National Assembly is really important there, because domestic policy is first and foremost made not by the president, but by the government, which is determined by who controls the National Assembly. If a party has a majority in the National Assembly, they basically get to pick the prime minister, and they also get to choose the cabinet, and they're the ones who direct domestic policy. And the president would be more in charge of foreign policy and defense. So it's a really big deal if the president is not the same party as the party who controls the National Assembly. I actually have heard it described as Macron being a lame duck if the National Rally were to control Parliament, because he couldn't get anything done basically domestically. So it's really important who controls the National Assembly there. And again, it's like that you would say, if whatever party controls the National Assembly, it's said that like it's their government, even though that's different than who the president is. So it's something to keep in mind. So it's a really big deal who gets to control the National Assembly. And it's going to be a big deal anyway if National Rally has the most seats, and if they, as is anticipated, get the most votes of any party. But the current projections say they're not going to get 289. They would need 289 seats. So for The Economist came out with a prediction where they believe the National Rally, hard right National Rally, will get between 185 and 215. So they think the National Rally will get about 200 seats. They think the left-wing New Popular Front will get roughly like 185 seats. And they think the Ensemble Centrist Coalition, which is Macron's party, Macron's coalition, they'll get about 130 seats. And to repeat, you might say, well, Steve, if the left wing has 180 seats and the centrists have 130 seats, why don't they just team up? Because they'll have over 300 seats and they can just run the government. A couple big problems with that. First of all, the left and the center do not like each other. The center is a pro-business party, for example. The left coalition is more kind of pro-worker. More taxes on the wealthy. They want to reverse Macron raised the retirement age. They want to lower it. More social spending. That's what the left wing wants. So the left wing and center have some very different views, and they don't get along well. And also, there is not from what I understand, not a big tradition of political compromise in France. So it would be a very difficult proposition for the left and the center to get together to run the government. That would be very difficult if it happens. It'd be a difficult situation. So they can't just simply get together. They're not just going to simply get together and say, hey, let's all get together and run the government together. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? The feed froze. My gosh. I didn't even notice I was talking. Sorry, folks. Hang on. We'll unfreeze the feed. It's unfrozen. I apologize. Looks like that person is that the same person still voting or a different person? Anyways, it is going. That is a live feed now. That's from Paris. That's from Paris. Oh, new feed, Akeem said? There we go. Dave Lavallee says, large turnout up here in Brittany, France. And I'm going to show you some votes being counted in a different part of France. Here are some votes being counted. Oops, I got to refresh this now too. That froze on me as well. Oh no, I don't want to show that. I want to show this. There you go. Votes being counted, and some of the polls are closed. That says ensemble. Those are on. Well, how do you do it there? Ensemble is the centrist coalition. So what do you do? I don't even know how they do it. Hey, can one of our French viewers tell me in the chat, how do you do it? Do you put the piece of paper with your that's national, is that national rally? I'm trying to read the French. It says Rassemblement National. Doesn't look like National Popular Front, or is it? Let's see. Somebody in the chat will message it. Yes, national rally, blue ballot. I'm going to look it up on Wikipedia to get the French translation. No, I know you vote for your representative. But what I was wondering is, like, how do you vote? It looks like you literally take the piece of paper that represents the party you want to vote for and then put it in an envelope. Yes, Rassemblement National is national rally. So the blue is the Macron centrist coalition ensemble. The black is national. Is it black national rally? I'm trying to see the color. And then New Popular Front is the other one. I haven't seen any of those yet. That's the left-wing one. I mean, this one looks like people just put these things in envelopes because they're opening the envelopes. That must be what it is. No, in the U.S., I mean, like, commonly for like a presidential election or a Congress election, it won't be paper ballots. You'll go into, well, it could be, but, well, like, I've seen different, like, I've voted on computer before in elections here in the U.S. where there's like an election machine it's like a computer with this touch screen. There's also in the U.S. I've done voting actually where you fill in. It's like there's a bunch of bubbles and you fill in the bubble and then it goes into an optical scanner. But these are just pure paper ballots. They're sorting them by hand. They're not putting these through a scanner. Now, it's probably easier to do it this way if you're only voting on one thing, right? So, like in the U.S., when there's a presidential election, you're also voting on other things. You're sometimes voting on senator, you're voting on House of Representatives, you're voting on local issues, maybe. So, if you just think about it, this would be very, very difficult. If people were voting on like 6 things, not one thing, then think of all the envelopes you'd have to have. Worko says, this is very annoying to open all these envelopes, very French. I think the UK election was like this too. In the UK, people got a single paper ballot and they checked the box of the parliamentary representative they want. But like that was a few days ago. But it's similar there in that you're voting for one thing in the election. DC says voting, the voter gets pre-printed ballot papers. Where are you getting that from? Looks like it was cut and pasted from somewhere. Give me the source. Let's see. Voting procedures. This is from Wikipedia. That's where it's from. It's from Wikipedia. Wikipedia says voting is done using paper and manual counting. The voter gets pre-printed ballot papers from a table at the entrance of the voting office. Mail-in voting is not allowed in France. There is one paper ballot for each candidate, one ballot paper for each candidate. The voter then has their identity and registration checked by an official, after which the voter takes an envelope. The voter then enters a booth where they are hidden from sight and inserts the ballot paper of their candidate in the envelope. They walk to the ballot box where the president of the voting office or their deputy formally checks their identity. Okay. Only in municipalities under 1,000 inhabitants is an official identity document optional, if a deputy can attest to the identity. Anyways, yes. So the way you vote there is you take a bunch of pieces of paper, each one representing a different candidate, and you go into a booth and you pick the piece of paper of the candidate you want and you put it in one of those little envelopes there. And then you hand in the envelope. And then the workers, after the polls close, open the envelopes one by one, which is what they're doing. They open the envelope and they see which piece of paper is inside the envelope. So like that guy is opening one right now. And what will it say? It'll say, that's National Rally. That's the hard right National Rally. And then that one is Ensemble. That's centrist. I don't know where this is, but it seems like there's way more Ensemble. I haven't seen a New Popular Front one, which is left. That is National Rally. So wherever this district is, it seems like it's much more center and right than left, because I have yet to see a New Popular Front ballot in one of the envelopes yet. Okay, interesting. But this is just one location. Hey, in 37 minutes, guys, we're gonna get the big exit poll. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Special thanks to our viewers from France. Did I see Cupcake there? I know she sometimes comes by. She's from France. Cupcake is there. Thanks, Cupcake, for being there. Mills, our viewer, says in UK, same without the envelopes. Well, yeah, in the UK it's paper ballots, but you check the one you want. Check the box you want. So, yeah, there's a bunch of National Rally and centrist. See, it's Ensemble and National Rally. I have yet to see, from wherever this is, a single left-wing New Popular Front ballot. Hey, thanks to our moderators. We have moderating right now. Richard Williams from the UK. Thanks, Richard. Ruth Krafasi, RJ. Really appreciate it. Thank you to our mods. Thank you also to, hang on a moment here, Linda Belk and Larry, who moderate for us. I really appreciate it on X. Over there on Facebook, Kay Larry Body, Margaret Riley. Big thanks. And on Twitch, we have moderating David Green, I got that fire, McBritches, Sarah, Papa Bear, Sharon, C54. Thank you. Thanks for the bits, Desi. Quick summary here. They are voting today in France on the lower house of parliament, which is quite powerful there. basically whoever controls the lower house of Parliament runs the government. They get to choose the cabinet and the prime minister, and they control domestic policy in France. Last month, there were these European Parliament elections in France, and the hard right National Rally Party, which is anti-immigration, Euroskeptic party, they actually, very surprisingly, came in first in the European Parliament elections in France. And shortly after that happened, right after that happened, President Macron, big surprise, called early parliamentary elections. There's different theories on why he did that. He is a centrist. He is not a right. He's not National Rally. But he could have waited till 2027 for parliamentary elections, but he called them for now. Very short campaign time for this election. So in the first round last week, National Rally, that right-wing party, got 33%. The left-wing coalition, New Popular Front, got 28%, and Macron's centrist only got 21%. So not a big disappointment for Macron. Surprisingly good showing by the National Rally. There was this question, will they get enough seats to get a majority, which would be a huge deal. It's going to be a huge deal even if they just get the most seats, even if it's not a majority. But since last week, over 200 left-wing and centrist candidates pulled out between the first and second round, so because they didn't want to split the anti-National Rally vote. So they wanted anti-National Rally voters to have like a single candidate to vote for. So because of those strategic withdrawals from the election by over 200 candidates, it is believed that National Rally will not win enough seats to get a majority. But we'll have to see what happens here. In about 33 minutes, there will be a big exit poll released, which should give us an idea of what happened. And we're looking at some location where they're counting ballots, but I also want to show you, here is a location, this is from Paris, I believe, where they're still voting. Hey, they're still voting in Paris. See, they're dumping the envelopes, those blue envelopes, they're dumping them in the bin. And then after that, they'll open up the envelopes, like we're seeing in the other shot. Lunar Guardian says, why is Le Pen so popular? So, you know, there is a question, and there's debate about this, like, why is National Rally doing better now than before? You know, certainly I will say that in a number of countries, this is not like very insightful and not like secret information, but in a number of countries, immigration is becoming a bigger issue lately, and so I'm guessing that some of their popularity would be because of the population maybe has shifted a bit on their stance on immigration in France. But also it is believed that, so it's not believed, Macron is quite unpopular. And you can find articles offering analysis saying that a big part of this vote is an anti-Macron vote. People just aren't happy with Macron himself as president, and so they don't want to vote for the centrists, which is his group. So I'm not a French political expert. I can't tell you. I don't live there, but you know, I think maybe some people are voting on the right because they really support the policies, and there might be other people who are voting right, maybe because more of as a anti-Macron kind of thing. Look, I mean, remember, Macron's centrists only got 21% in the first round. The left wing, the left wing coalition got 28%, and the right wing National Rally got 33%. So he is quite unpopular in France right now. Why is there a second round? So I don't know for sure, but my guess, what they do between the first and second round is they eliminate anyone who didn't get 12.5%. So one reason, maybe I would think a reason they have a second round is because in the first round there could be a ton of candidates, and if it's just like whoever gets the most wins, you could get somebody, with like 15% of the vote who wins the seat because there's so many candidates. So it's a way of making sure that it reduces the possibility that someone's going to win a seat with a way less than a majority vote. Because again, if there's a lot of candidates and they split the vote kind of evenly, you could have someone with quite a low share of the vote, win the seat if you don't have a second round. So my thinking is maybe it's something like that. All right, yeah, 30 minutes. Guys, a half an hour until the polls close. 30 minutes. Hey, did this pause? Are we paused here? What happened? Oh, no. It's actually not paused. If it's paused on the source. It's not on my... Oh, no, it's not paused. They're moving. There's movement. We have movement. Let's go back to the counting. Oops, sorry. That's the wrong one. There we go. That is a place where they're counting. You can see those are National Rally on the left and Centrist Ensemble in the middle. Wherever they're counting these ballots, I have yet to see a single left-wing National Popular Front ballot. This is definitely not a left-wing stronghold where they're counting these ballots. There is concern that there could be violence after the election. So let's hope there's not. I'll keep an eye out. Let me just do a quick check on updates. This is quite high turnout today. Oh, hang on a moment here. So in terms of what these parties are known for, I'll talk about some of the policies. I'm not an expert on French politics, but Macron's centrists are known as a pro-business coalition, pro-business alliance. The National Rally on the right wing is known for being an anti-immigration party. And a nationalist party and a Euroskeptic party. They want less immigration. They want non-citizens to have fewer benefits in France. For example, they've also talked about wanting to ban women from wearing Muslim headscarves in any public place. According to the Wall Street Journal, they want to tighten access to citizenship, welfare, and housing. They want to bar people with dual citizenship from holding certain strategic government jobs. So they are a. They also want to do something where they want to cut this tax on fuel and fuel and energy, I believe it is. So there's other policies they have too. But again, they're known for being an anti-immigration Eurosceptic party. On the left wing, the New Popular Front Left Coalition, they want to. It was a really big deal in France when Macron raised the retirement age from 62 to 64, I believe. But the left-wing New Popular Front wants to lower the retirement age to 60. They want more taxes on the wealthy. They want more government spending on benefits for people. So these are just some of the. I am not an expert on these parties, but kind of some of the broad views and broad things that they're calling for. Oh, so like the left-wing part, the left-wing coalition, I believe supports, for example, another thing they support on the left wing, I believe, is recognizing an independent Palestinian state. The National Rally on the right wing is known for not being as supportive of giving money to Ukraine as Macron's centrist would be. So there's that. So just trying to give you some of the policies that these parties support. Dave LaValle thinks they're going to have to raise the retirement age to 66 or near that eventually. All right, guys, only 24 minutes left. Only 24 minutes left until the polls close and we get our big exit poll. So I was going to try to give you a little more information on the parties. Oh, it was also interesting, the Macron's centrist in the first round, I think, got a really low amount of the youth vote. Like really low. Wonder if I can look that up. Yes. In the first round, according to The Economist, in the first round last week, between 18 and 24 years old in France, only 9% of them voted for Ensemble, which is the centrist coalition, which is affiliated with Macron, President Macron. Only 9% of 18 to 24-year-olds. 48% of them voted for the left-wing New Popular Front and 33% for the right-wing National Rally. Give me a shout at Lookner on X if you have comments. We're taking your comments on the air, reading some stuff from you. Hold on a second here. Hold on one moment. One moment. Oopsie. Sorry, I want to keep checking your messages and checking updates. Will Macron have a seat in the French government still? So, a good question. This is not a vote on the presidency today. It's only a vote on the National Assembly. The president, now normally the presidential election and the National Assembly election come around the same time. And that's also a big reason why normally the president's party is the same party that's in control of the National Assembly, because those elections happen around the same time. But last month, the last parliamentary election and presidential election was 2022. But last month, President Macron, in the European Parliament elections last month, the right-wing National Rally Party, the anti-immigration, Euroskeptic National Rally right-wing party, did surprisingly the best in France in the European Parliament elections. And right after that, Macron, very surprisingly, called these early parliamentary elections. So this is not taking place as usual around the same time as the presidential election. And there's a bunch of debates on what his strategy was. One theory is that he felt that the support, he wanted to show that there wasn't actually that much support for the National Rally in France, and that the European Parliament vote was like a protest vote. And what the theory goes that he thought when push came to shove, a lot of people wouldn't actually vote for National Rally for the National Assembly. But that turned out wrong last week, because National Rally got the most votes of any party in the first round. But there's another theory. There's another theory, which is that Macron wanted to have an early election because he thought that the National Rally would take power in the lower house and people would see the National Rally govern for a couple years and not like what they saw, which would lessen the chance that Marine Le Pen of National Rally would get elected president in 2027. You see the thinking here? That's another theory, is that he's really concerned about the presidential election, so he decided to call an early election so that people would get exposed more to National Rally and not like them as much when the presidential election happens in 2027. I don't know. There's no clear answer to this as to why he called an early election. There's different theories around. I would say that the two I just mentioned are maybe the leading ones, but I don't know. Our viewer Politicerty Welt thinks because there is 40% extreme left and 40% extreme right, there will be instability in France. In the first round, the right-wing National Rally got 33%, left-wing coalition got 28%, and Macron centrist 21%. Is that still Paris? Yes, you're looking at via AFP. That is a polling place in Paris, and they're closing in 17 minutes. In 17 minutes, we will have our big exit poll, guys. In 17 minutes. How about this? How about this? So will there be a big surprise today? Will National Rally come close to a majority? Will they not get the most votes? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Let me just get you a little update here on turnout and stuff. Hang on, one moment, just one moment. Oh, by the way, the Washington Post said today in one of their articles, they said, at the heart of National Rallies program is a controversial and fluid concept, national priority, the idea that French citizens should have access to more rights in public services than foreigners. Many legal experts argue it is contrary to the French Constitution. So I was reading an article last night talking about how some of the things the National Rally might do if they were in power might get declared unconstitutional. I forget which specific things, but I know they've talked about doing things where they were like children of non-citizens born in France, I believe, get citizenship or get it in certain circumstances, and they're talking about taking that away. They're talking about people who are dual citizens, not allowing them to have certain sensitive jobs. Talking about restricting benefits for non-natives, these kind of things. Politico says that the turnout is expected to reach 67%, the highest since 1967. They also say that shops on the Champs-Élysées, that big shopping street in France, one of the most popular, one of the best known streets maybe in the world, where at the end of which is the Arc de Triomphe, shops are setting up extra protection because they're concerned about possible post-election violence. 30,000 law enforcement officers have been mobilized around the country to deal with possible unrest after the election results are announced. Well, after, I guess, the polls close. 13 minutes left. 13 minutes. Yeah, I was in Paris in April, I believe it was. It was fantastic. Ranger says France knows how to riot. Thanks to our members like Chappie and the Ring of X and Pamela Swanwick and Jorthio and all of our other members over there on YouTube. Appreciate you guys joining us for our live French election coverage. Only 12 minutes until the polls close in all of France, and we will get the big exit poll announcement in 12 minutes. That guy just voted. How well will the right-wing, national, anti-immigration, Euroskeptic, National Rally Party do? How well will they do? That is the biggest question. Oh, thank you, Leon Yoder. Leon thinks the media has fear-mongered half the world's population to being deathly afraid of being labeled as right-wing. That's what Leon thinks. Hey, thanks, Leon, for your support. I really appreciate it. So I'm just checking for updates here. Kind of checking a bunch of things. Let me show you real quick a place where they are counting votes. That is somewhere in France where they're actually counting votes, where the polls are closed. They have been opening blue envelopes, and inside each blue envelope is a piece of paper with the choice of the voter. There's a different piece of paper for each candidate in each party. So Those blue ones are ensemble votes. That's centrist. This looks like most of the voters in this place. In whatever area this is, I've only seen centrist ensemble and right-wing national rally pieces of paper. I have yet to see a single left-wing piece of paper in that area, wherever that is. CNN says that the promises of this guy Jordan Bardella is this 28-year-old. He's the head of the National Rally Party. Although, like the figurehead, the actual head is Marine Le Pen. That's my understanding. But if the National Rally were to get a majority in Parliament, 28-year-old Jordan Bardella would become the prime minister. And before him, technically, the leaders of the party were first Jean-Marie Le Pen and then his daughter Marine Le Pen. So CNN says that Jean-Marie Le Pen, Marine Le Pen, ended up working to remove her father from the party. And CNN says in an article, the father of Marine Le Pen, Jean-Marie Le Pen, and the decades-long leader of the National Front, which was this party before the name was changed more recently to National Rally, he denied the Holocaust and was viewed as too extreme a leader for the party. And Jordan Bardella's selection as the prime minister, as the leader of the party, was hailed as the National Rally's attempts to detoxify it and attract a younger crowd. Among his promises, if elected, are to reduce immigration, end free medical help for undocumented people, end the right to French citizenship for those born to foreign parents on French soil, reduce value-added tax on energy bills. I'm guessing we'll hear him speak, albeit in French. Oh, Macron will not speak tonight. That's another CNN report, is that Macron is not going to speak tonight. His centrist came in third in the first round last week. I don't know this for sure. Our viewer Henry Bergkamp says Macron has been missing all week. Less than 8 minutes. Hey, let's go back to that Paris polling station. There it is. That's in Paris. Guys, people got to vote. People got to get in there fast and vote because there's only 8 minutes. Looks like they're checking that person's ID. That's what they do that in France. I believe they do it. We were reading in the Wikipedia article. They will check your ID before they deposit the ballot in the ballot box. So just around 7 minutes left until the polls close and the big exit poll comes out. Remember, in the first round, in terms of total vote, hard right National Rally Party got 33%, left-wing coalition New Popular Front got 28%, Macron's centrist ensemble coalition got 21%. But the big question is not so much the percent, it's who will win the most seats. There are 577 seats in the National Assembly. To control the government, you would need a majority, 289. After, in this past week, a bunch of left and center candidates pulled out to consolidate the anti-National Rally vote. The current estimate, one estimate I've seen that the National Rally would get is about 200 seats. The National Rally is expected to get the most seats, but they're not expected to get a majority. So the biggest deal would be if they or somebody else got a majority over 289. That's not 289 or more. That's not expected to happen. But could they get close to 289? We'll have to see. But keep those numbers in mind when when the exit poll comes out in just a few minutes. And remember, whoever controls the National Assembly, they really control domestic policy in the country, not the president. But it's possible that no one will be clearly in control of the National Assembly after this election. This is coming just, I think, a few weeks before the Olympics come to Paris. PZ Papazulu says 6 minutes. But certainly this election will be seen as a sign of the rise of right-wing anti-immigration parties. Because this is a right-wing anti-immigration party. That's a big part of their platform. And they have done surprisingly well in the first round of this election and the European Parliament election last month in France. How well will they do? Let's see. Less than 5 minutes until the polls close and the exit polls released. Less than 5 minutes. I have some different video we'll be able to show you live. I got a bunch of different videos here. But I have videos of like people in France outside waiting and stuff like that. I have a video of people in France outside a bar in Paris watching for the results. I don't know what to show you. There's so much to show you. Hold on. Really quick, here's some people in France at a bar outside watching for the election results. Do you guys want to see this? Well, what I want to show you really is the exit poll results. Oh, I got another one here. Well, I'm going to leave this right here. I don't know what to show you. I don't even know what to show you. All right, that's them counting. That's the bar. I can turn the volume on for this. Hold on. I'm gonna hold off on the volume. Should we do this? Maybe I'll turn the volume on this one. One moment, please. Oh, I can't. I can't play that because I'll be stealing the audio. They're watching the news. Hang on. I'm going to get a different video for you as well. 2 minutes and 39 seconds. I'll turn on the volume in a second. I'm getting a different video for you of people outside watching there in France. 2 minutes and 30 seconds until the polls close and the exit poll is released. 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's see if this works.
Consigne de retrait. Quel visage aura ce soir l'Assemblée nationale majoritaire claire, on va voir tout ça. Question qui intéresse forcément le locataire de Matignon sur place. On va retrouver Cyril.
All right, let's go back to that bar. Here we go. All right, so we got people outside in Paris at a bar. They are waiting to hear the election results. In a minute and 38 seconds, we will get the big exit poll results. Maybe I'll go back to the other shot. Hold on. If I go to this shot.
Les affaires courantes, ça c'est le programme des 24 prochaines heures. Mais j'ai croisé tout à l'heure quelques conseillers ministériels dans cette rue de Varennes où se trouve l'hôtel Matignon. Ils avaient le visage un peu moins tendu que dimanche dernier. Est-ce que c'est un indice? Réponse dans quelques secondes.
Okay, we're gonna look at this shot. This is in Paris. That's people in Paris waiting to see the exit poll results. All right? So you're going to see them live. You're going to see them live react to the exit poll results in like 45 seconds. And I'll tell you what the exit poll results are. I'm going to tell you. I will tell you in a second when they come out. Oh my gosh, guys, just like 25 seconds, it might be on a little bit of a delay. I don't even know where I'm getting these. All right, it's getting very close in about 10 seconds. In about 10 seconds. I'm looking, I'm waiting. 3, 2, 1. All right, the polls are closed. Where's the exit poll results? Oh, people are holding their heads. Did they just see them? Did they see them? They look sad. The people look sad. I'm about to see it right now. Hold on. It says, okay, breaking news. Okay, I'm seeing it right now. Hold on. France 24 reports. France 24 says new popular front on the left between 172 and 192 seats. Far right 132 to 152. Presidential 150 to 170. It looks like it's worse for the right. It looks like it's worse for right wing. It looks like it's worse for right wing than thought. Look, they're happy. This is worse than expected for the right-wing national rally. Worse than expected for right-wing national rally. I'll post it on the screen right now. Hold on a second. Hang on, guys. Breaking news. So they're happy. I got it. Hold on, I got it right now. Okay, people are celebrating because the right wing, because the left wing got the most, and then the center got the second most seats, and then the right wing got the third most, according to the exit poll. That's why people are celebrating in Paris right now. Okay? Again, new popular front left wing, 172 to 192 seats. That's the estimate. A presidential ensemble coalition, centrist, 150 to 170, and far right national rally, 132 to 152. So that was not supposed to happen. National rally was expected they'd come in first. It looks like they're going to be in third. Hang on, I'm going to show it to you. I will show it to you.
Grande déception, je suppose, pour le Rassemblement national, qui va augmenter aussi d'une quarantaine peut-être le nombre de ses députés. Et qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Il est en troisième position. Ce qui a joué, ce sont d'abord les retraits qui sont transformés en duel, mais ce qui a joué aussi, c'est le Front républicain, et ce sont de très bons reports. Par exemple, ils sont d'après nos premières analyses.
Projection.
Il y avait un duel ensemble face au RN.
Sorry, I just want to get this off. Guys, let me just type the headline so you can see the projection in the headline. Okay, hang on one moment. I'm going to type in the headline right now. Left-wing, very surprising, left-wing coalition expected in first place. Centrist coalition, Macron's coalition, second place. And right-wing coalition in third place. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on. I'm fitting this all on the screen right now. So this is a surprise result. It was expected that the right-wing National Rally would have the most seats. But according to the exit poll, they're going to have the third most seats. So the left wing surprisingly looks to have the most seats. And then surprisingly also, the center is projected to have more than the right wing. So it looks like people, it looks like the strategy of the left in the center to strategically withdraw candidates. Oh, hold on. I think the left wing is speaking right now. Let me get that for you. Give me one moment. Sorry, I was trying to get everything up on the screen here. Hang on. It's not in English anyway. Just give me one moment. Let me fix the headline. Or no, he's speaking now. Let me show you the left wing. I think it's Mélenchon from the left wing. There it is right there. There it is right there.
Un magnifique élan de mobilisation civique s'est affirmé. Et vous savez tous à quel point c'est remarquable, car nous sommes déjà dans l'été et le temps des congés. Notre peuple a clairement écarté la solution du pire pour lui. Ce soir, le Rassemblement national est loin d'avoir la majorité absolue que les commentateurs lui prédisaient il y a une semaine à peine. C'est même tout le contraire. C'est un immense soulagement pour une écrasante majorité de personnes dans notre pays, celles qui constituent la nouvelle France comme celles qui l'ont toujours aimée de passion républicaine. Ces personnes se sont senties menacées terriblement. Désormais qu'elles se rassurent, elles ont gagné. Avec ces bulletins de vote, une majorité a fait un autre choix pour le pays. La volonté du peuple doit être dorénavant strictement respectée. Dès lors, aucun subterfuge, arrangement ou combinaison ne serait acceptable. En effet, les leçons du vote sont sans appel. La défaite du président de la République et de sa coalition est clairement confirmée. Le président doit s'incliner sans tenter de la contourner de quelque façon que ce soit. Le Premier ministre doit s'en aller. En effet, il n'a jamais reçu la confiance de l'Assemblée nationale. Il vient de diriger la campagne perdue par son camp et il a reçu un vote de défiance populaire massif. Le président a le pouvoir, le président a le devoir d'appeler le nouveau Front populaire à gouverner.
Les électeurs que le mérite revient. Ils ont rarement dans l'histoire de notre pays été aussi nombreux passionnés pour une élection.
Hold on, now it just switched to I think that's the Green Party. Which is part of the New Popular Front coalition. That's who I think is speaking right now. The Green Party is one of the parties in the left-wing coalition. So this is the Green Party. From left-wing coalition.
Désistement indispensable pour faire barrage à l'extrême droite. Soyons lucides, ça n'a pas été aussi instinctif et immédiat chez tout le monde, mais l'essentiel est le résultat final. Les électeurs ont été au rendez-vous du barrage républicain. Merci. Et puis, nous avons aussi été à la hauteur grâce au nouveau Front populaire. Merci à la chorale sur ma gauche. Parce que oui, c'est l'espoir immense créé par cette union de la gauche et des écologistes qui est le fait politique majeur de cette élection. Le nouveau Front populaire, il est né ici, dans ces locaux, il y a moins de 4 semaines. Il fallait le faire. Il fallait le faire. Et non seulement nous l'avons fait, mais nous avons gagné et maintenant nous allons gouverner. Alors, préparez-vous, parce que ce soir, la question que tout le monde va nous poser, c'est « Et maintenant ?» Non, pas encore. C'est « Et maintenant, comment on fait ?» Eh bien, on continue, avec exactement le même état d'esprit que ces derniers jours. On reste calme, on reste solide sur nos appuis, et surtout sur nos valeurs, et surtout, on reste très déterminés. Déterminés à ce que vive le nouveau Front populaire, parce que l'espoir que nous avons créé ensemble ne peut être déçu. Il nous oblige. Déterminés à mettre en place notre programme de rupture, à ce qu'advienne enfin dans ce pays, après tant d'années de fractures et de souffrances, une politique d'apaisement et de justice sociale et environnementale. Je le dis solennellement, ce soir, ce n'est pas le moment des postures, pas le moment des oukases, ni des courses de petits chevaux. Ce n'est pas non plus le moment de proposer un ou une première ministre, c'est trop tôt. Ce soir, c'est le temps du travail et du collectif. Je le dis en particulier à nos amis.
Au pays. À sa manière, une fois de plus, elle a sauvé la République. Une fois de plus, elle peut commencer l'œuvre écologique et sociale dont notre peuple, notre époque, notre monde, notre Europe ont tant besoin. Écoutez, amis.
All right, let me just summarize what happened. So, guys, this is a very surprising result. It was widely anticipated that the right-wing National Rally Party would get the most seats in this election in the lower house of Parliament, which is quite powerful. The lower house of Parliament runs domestic policy in France. But what happened is after the first round, the left-wing coalition and the centrists, who are Macron's coalition, they pulled out over 200 candidates to unite the opposition to the National Rally, to not split the anti-National Rally vote. And it looks like that strategy worked very well for them. because look what happened. The projection is that in a shocker, the left-wing coalition is going to get 172 to 192 seats. The center, Macron's coalition, which was expected to come in third, they're now second with 150 to 170. And the right wing, which was expected to maybe get around 200 or something like that, they're at 132 to 152, and they're in third place. Now, one issue here is that there is nobody with a majority, and so it's not going to be easy for a majority to be, maybe some coalition will be formed to run the government, but you need 289 seats for a majority. And the left and the center do not traditionally like each other. From what I understand, there's not a big tradition of coalition, of political compromise in France. So it could be, it's not clear what's going to happen in the lower house. There could be a bunch of like paralysis and confusion because nobody has a majority and there's no clear coalition there to run the government. So we'll have to see what happens. But it's a surprising result because the right wing came in third in terms of number of seats, where they were supposed to come in first based on what happened last week. So interesting. This is the Green Party from the left wing. And by the way, Euro News has a headline right now on one of their tweets: Anti-far-right alliance routs Marine Le Pen's national rally and shock reverse, hung parliament in Paris. The final results will not be available until, I believe, the morning time in France. I also just saw a different exit poll that this person, Taniel, who's an election specialist I follow, posted. And in that poll, it was similar. In that exit poll, left wing is projected to have even more seats, between 180 and 215. The center is projected to have between 150 and 180, and the right wing is projected to have between 120 and 150. So the exit polling data is really suggesting that the right wing, surprisingly, is going to become in third, and that the left wing is going to come in first. So I'm going to give you some more updates here. And some more. I'm going to check to see what video I have. I've just been trying to kind of get you the latest details. Sorry, I want to read some more comments in the chat too, but let me just fix the headline, fix this here, and we'll play you some more stuff. I assume maybe Jordan Bardella and Marine Le Pen from the right-wing National Rally Party might speak soon. I'm sorry, I don't know French, but I'll try to get you some translated quotes. And I'll take some comments from you guys on the air too. Let me just put this on the air. Left-wing Green Party speaking. They were part of the left-wing coalition. So let me just put this on the screen here. But a surprising result. It really was the common wisdom, and the polling really suggested before this result came out that the right wing was going to get the most seats. But it did not happen. It did not happen. Wow. That is why we were watching people in Paris. They were looking kind of glum. And then all of a sudden, the people we were watching in Paris, when they were all cheering. And that's why they were cheering. I'm assuming they were cheering because they were not fans of... They were either pro-left wing, but they were probably also anti-right wing. Red Squirrel says, this is totally unexpected. Morts think when push comes to shove, people backed away from the far right. I don't know what percentages they got, by the way. AP says French far right falls short of expectations and trails leftist rivals in legislative elections. Wall Street Journal says a leftist coalition is projected to beat Le Pen's national rally in French parliamentary elections, a stunning response to the far right party's early lead after the first round last week. Wall Street Journal calls this a stunning... Sorry, can you not hear me? Can you hear? You can hear me. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I had the volume down on this. I was going to put the volume on low.
Est le socle de notre République. Nous ne réparerons pas un pays fracturé si nous ne donnons pas à l'école publique les moyens.
I'm going to just keep talking here.
L'émancipation de chaque enfant.
Hold on. Let me keep talking for a second. So, the Wall Street Journal says this is a stunning come-from-behind victory fueled by a groundswell of opposition to Marine Le Pen's anti-immigrant forces. Macron, according to CNN, is not going to speak tonight. I wonder if he'll change his mind. The Wall Street Journal says if the projections hold, the outcome would mark a stunning reversal of fortune for Le Pen's anti-immigrant party, which a week ago won the first round. So as I mentioned, guys, what happened is that the left wing and the center, after the first round, they strategically withdrew candidates. So over 200 candidates withdrew so that people would only have one anti-national rally candidate to vote for. It was like strategic withdrawing of candidates. And I'm sure the National Rally is not happy about this. But the problem is there's no majority party in the government right now. There's no majority party, as you can see right now. You need 289 for a majority. And the left and the center don't naturally work together. So there could be some confusion and paralysis now in the government of France because there's no majority in the lower house, which controls domestic policy. But you can see the left-wing Green Party, they are happy. Their coalition has taken the lead. Hey, let me show you, I'm going to show you a shot of a National Rally watch party. Hey guys, check this out. This is the National Rally watch party. Let me show you that. Hang on a moment here. Hang on. One moment here. There is the National Rally Party. So they're not going to be happy there. That is a National Rally gathering there. That's what that is. They're probably pretty surprised. Again, the polls all suggested that the National Rally would have at least the most seats. You know, I was thinking this. Our viewer Politisiri Welt said somewhat Macron's plan worked. So, did Macron's plan work? After a month ago in these European Parliament elections in France, the right-wing National Rally Party did way better than expected. They got the most votes. And Macron called a sudden, surprising parliamentary election. And there's different theories on why he called it, but one theory is that he wanted to show that the right wing didn't have as much support in the country as the parliamentary elections made it seem. So, has that shown that today? I don't know. You know, I also don't know what percentage of the vote each of them is going to get. But I mean, the thing that really matters is the number of seats. But I'm guessing that when all is said and done, the right wing will have more votes and more seats than was maybe anticipated a month ago. But it's a disappointment for the National Rally after the first round. And again, a problem for Macron now is that his coalition was in charge of the lower house before. Now they're not. So it's going to make it harder for him to govern. But he chose to do this, to have this vote. Mira, our viewer, said his plan worked. The center and left worked together to beat the far right. Hey, a quick thanks to Robert Ian for your support. Robert thinks bots on social media have convinced far-right supporters they are more popular than they really are. That's what our viewer Robert Ian thinks. Thanks, Robert, for your support. Thank you also, Mike, for your support. Thank you, Walter Beasley, for your support. Hey, I really appreciate that, Walter. Thank you. So that's, you're watching, let me show you some other video here. That is a right-wing event, national rally. Oh, look, let me show you this. I got more video. Is this Paris? Hey, it looks like people are celebrating in Paris, guys. Look at this video. Now, are they celebrating because they're pro-left wing or anti-right wing? That I don't know. Let me just do something real quick. So again, the big headline, a surprising result in that the right wing was expected, National Rally was expected to have the most seats, but they have come in third. And the exit polling says they're going to come in third. And surprisingly, a surprising win for the left wing, although they're not going to have a majority in the lower house. They are expected to be first. So left wing and Macron's centrist party, even though they previously think I had around 250 seats, they're going to lose a bunch of seats. But surprisingly better showing for the left and the center, and surprisingly worse showing for the right, given the results of last week in the first round. Politico calls this a shock victory for the left wing. I want to show you the right-wing rally, the right-wing watch party, I think it is. If I can find it here. Hold on, I'll get it for you. I'll get you the right-wing national rally. That's the right-wing gathering. So that right there is the right-wing national rally gathering. I assume Jordan Bardella, the leader of the right-wing party, will speak. Maybe Marine Le Pen, who's like the actual leader, but not she's not the like president of the party, but she's still seen as like the leader of the party, de facto. But so this is the right-wing gathering national rally. Obviously, they are not looking happy there. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and they criticize the way that the left and the center pulled candidates between the first and second round so that the anti-national rally vote would not be split. Well, what's happening now? What's happening now? Here we go. All right, this is Jordan Bardella of the National Rally Party.
Mes chers compatriotes, de métropole, d'outre-mer et de l'étranger. Ce dimanche 7 juillet, second tour des élections législatives anticipées, le peuple français s'est exprimé. En marquant cette élection d'un taux de participation historique, les Français ont d'abord fait honneur à notre démocratie. Je tiens à remercier les électeurs du Rassemblement national et de ses alliés pour le sursaut patriote sans précédent qu'ils ont exprimé. Je veux saluer leur mobilisation, leur constance, mais également leur sérénité face aux caricatures, aux campagnes de désinformation et souvent au mépris de nos adversaires. En dépit d'une campagne de second tour marquée par des alliances politiciennes contre nature, destinées à empêcher par tous les moyens les Français de se choisir librement une politique différente, le Rassemblement national réalise aujourd'hui la percée la plus importante de toute son histoire. Malheureusement, l'alliance du déshonneur et les arrangements électoraux dangereux passés par Emmanuel Macron et Gabriel Attal avec les formations d'extrême gauche privent ce soir les Français d'une politique de redressement qu'ils ont pourtant plébiscité largement en nous plaçant en tête des élections européennes, puis dimanche dernier, lors du premier tour avec près de 34% des suffrages exprimés. Ce soir, ces accords électoraux jettent la France dans les bras de l'extrême gauche de Jean-Luc Mélenchon. La dynamique qui porte le Rassemblement national, qui l'a mis très largement en tête au premier tour, qui lui permet de doubler son nombre de députés et qui le porte à plus de 45% dans d'innombrables circonscriptions de France, sont les éléments constitutifs de la victoire de demain. Compte tenu de la politique qui sera appliquée dans les prochains mois et qui ne répondra à aucune des préoccupations des Français, le Rassemblement national incarne plus que jamais la seule alternance face au parti unique qui s'étend ce soir de Philippe Poutou à Édouard Philippe. Je le dis ce soir avec gravité. Priver des millions de Français de la possibilité de voir leurs idées portées au pouvoir ne sera jamais un destin viable pour la France. Ce soir, en assumant délibérément de paralyser nos institutions, Emmanuel Macron n'a pas simplement poussé le pays vers l'incertitude et l'instabilité, il prive en conséquence et pour de longs mois les Français de toute réponse à leurs difficultés quotidiennes. En pleine crise du pouvoir d'achat, alors que l'insécurité et le désordre frappent durement le pays, la France se voit privée d'une majorité, d'un gouvernement pour agir et donc d'un cap clair pour redresser la France. Chacun aura compris aujourd'hui que les arrangements électoraux, orchestrés depuis l'Élysée entre un président de la République isolé et une extrême gauche incendiaire, ne mèneront le pays nulle part. Constitué en parti unique, la question que tous nos compatriotes se posent désormais est la suivante: que vont-ils faire? Je sais la frustration de millions de Français ce soir. Je sais l'urgence de leur quotidien, mais je sais aussi leurs attentes. Je veux leur dire que depuis plusieurs mois, dans le pays, un vent d'espoir s'est levé et qu'il ne cessera plus jamais de souffler. Ce soir, tout commence. Le Rassemblement national va amplifier son travail. À l'Assemblée nationale d'abord, derrière Marine Le Pen. Dans le pays ensuite, en continuant d'œuvrer à l'union nationale, au rassemblement de tous les Français et bien sûr à l'alternance démocratique nécessaire qui vient. Au Parlement européen enfin, où nos eurodéputés joueront dès demain pleinement leur rôle au sein d'un grand groupe qui pèsera dans les rapports de force en Europe pour refuser la submersion migratoire, l'écologie punitive et la confiscation de notre souveraineté. Parce que le Rassemblement national est différent des autres. Il n'entrera dans aucune compromission politicienne. Aujourd'hui comme demain, il sera aux côtés du peuple français et prêt à assumer ses responsabilités. Nous ne voulons pas du pouvoir pour le pouvoir. Nous voulons le pouvoir pour rendre ce pouvoir au peuple français, pour restaurer la souveraineté de la nation et pour mettre en œuvre le projet de redressement qui sortira la France de l'ornière. À toutes les Françaises, à tous les Français, je veux dire que mon intention d'œuvrer au redressement du pays est plus forte que jamais. Je serai là, pour vous, avec vous, jusqu'à la victoire. Ce soir, tout commence. Un vieux monde est tombé et rien ne peut arrêter un peuple qui s'est remis à espérer. Vive la France et vive la République.
I know that one thing Jordan Bardella said, according to LCI, he said the alliance of dishonor this evening deprives the French of a policy of recovery. So he called the strategy of the left and center whereby they strategically pulled candidates. They withdrew candidates between the first round and the second round so that the anti-national rally vote would not be split. He called that an alliance of dishonor. By the way, Euronews says that it's unprecedented for no party to win a majority without any obvious ruling coalition, and France may now find itself in an unfamiliar deadlock. So again, this is a shocking result in that after the first round last week, which was itself surprising, everybody was saying, and the polls were saying, that the right-wing, anti-immigration, Euroskeptic National Rally Party would have the most seats in the powerful National Assembly in France. But surprisingly, it looks like they're going to come in third, and the left-wing coalition first, Macron's centrist coalition second, and right-wing third. So, very surprising given the first round just a week ago. And it looks like that strategy of pulling, I haven't seen all the individual results, but it looks like the strategy of pulling up over 200 candidates so that you didn't split the anti-national rally vote paid off for the left and center. So in terms of the actual results, we'll take into the morning France time. It's only 8:37 p.m. there. That's my understanding, is that for the actual results, it takes until the morning. But wow. No, this has nothing to do with Macron. Macron is still president. This does not determine who is president. The president is a different election. The next presidential election is 2027. There was some speculation. Macron said he was going to stay in office. There was some speculation that if, like, the right wing had a big victory, that Macron might resign. But that has not happened. So, anyways, let me go back here to... Hold on. I mean, the right wing ended up not having a big victory. Let me go back to Paris, I believe this is. This is in Paris, where people are celebrating the election results. Uh-oh, that paused for a second. And so just to be clear, in the first round, the percentage of vote was 33% right wing, 28% left, and 21% center. So, I don't know what the percentages are overall today, but it's possible that the right wing got roughly what the percentage of votes it got last week. It's just that the opposition came together. Because in the first round, they got 33% of the vote, the right wing. But this is a surprising result, given the first round. Let me read some of your comments here. BBC says all the opinion polls appear to have gotten it wrong. And they also say if the current projections are correct, the national rally on the right wing has not performed nearly as well as its leaders and many observers had expected. But it should be pointed out, the national rally, I think the national rally, if I have this right, had 88 seats. Is that what they had? So they have definitely increased their representation in Parliament. That's a fair point. And I was talking about this earlier. So it's a disappointment for the right-wing national rally compared to what the result, what the hopes were after last week for them. But overall, they have gained seats. Well, I'll give you a little more volume here. Yeah, National Rally won 89 seats a couple years ago in the last parliamentary election. And in the first round, they got 18.7%, and in the second round, they got 17.3% of the vote. And so they're going to do better, significantly better in this election, National Rally, than they did in the previous election. NBC News says, without a ruling parliamentary majority, the French government, now made up of rival parties of deep ideological divisions and no clear center of power, is likely to become locked in a political stalemate that may make it difficult to pass new legislation. I believe Macron could call another election in a year. I don't know that he would, but I believe after a year he could call another parliamentary election. Yes, I probably will be doing later today or this evening some more hurricane coverage. I'm going to be taking a break after this stream, but I'll probably come on later with hurricane coverage. Quick thanks to Janet Burnett for your support. I thank you so much, Janet. I really appreciate it. Our viewer, Paula Thompson, says, I wonder if Macron will speak. CNN had reported earlier that he was not going to speak. They had been told by the is it Élysée there? It's like the White House here in the U.S. They had been told he was not going to speak. But I wonder if, given this surprise result, that would change and he would speak. Sham says Prime Minister Attal should step down. He's the current Prime Minister representing the centrist coalition. Euronews says he's likely to lose his post as Prime Minister since the center did not even get the most number of seats. But it's not clear who will replace him. The Telegraph reports that strangers hugged in Paris as the election results were announced. The Telegraph also says Macron's gamble has partially paid off. His decision to have this sudden parliamentary election. So what we were just talking about this, the Telegraph says that even though this overall result is going to include historic gains for the right-wing National Rally Party, there is no doubt it's also a massive slap in the face for the National Rally and its young leader Jordan Bardella. The Telegraph thinks it could also seriously put the brakes on Le Pen's ambitions to be president in 2027. Her seemingly inexorable rise has suffered a major setback, says the Telegraph. But also Macron is not a big winner here in the sense of his centrist party had around, I think, 250 seats, and they controlled the lower house and controlled the government. Well, they don't control the lower house anymore, which sets domestic policy. They're not even the biggest party in the lower house anymore. Macron now is, says the Telegraph, Macron now has he finds himself with a much reduced role, a lesser role. Now he is basically in charge of foreign and defense affairs, but the lower house sets domestic policy there, and no longer is Macron's centrist coalition in charge of that. One more thing from the Telegraph. The Telegraph says the main victor is what has been called the Republican Front, namely all those French who chose to vote tactically to keep the RN out. And the Telegraph quoted a political analyst who said that this is, a political analyst, Olivier Duhamel, said, this is the most spectacular surprise in modern French politics by a mile. Our viewer James Hughes says, big loss for the National Rally. Again, they have gained a bunch of seats and share of the vote since 2 years ago. That's good for them, but expectations were much higher after that first round last week. Thank you, Spectralon White, for your support. We are watching people celebrating the results in Paris. These are people who are happy about the result. I assume they're happy that the right-wing National Rally did not had a disappointing third place showing according to the exit polls. The head of the Socialist Party, which is part of the left-wing alliance, said that tonight France said no to the arrival of the National Rally. Wow, very interesting, very interesting. The former president in France, and I also, all of this is, I mean, again, a very surprising result here. By the way, our viewer Libalula pointed out that ex-President Hollande, was it, of France, has been elected as a parliamentary representative. Yes. AFP says former President Hollande elected in Corrèze. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. he is with the left-wing coalition. New Popular Front, I believe it is. Wow. So a surprising result. I was genuinely surprised. When the election poll first came out, when the exit poll, I had to like take a second because I was just waiting for the poll that showed the right-wing National Rally ahead, and it came out, and I had to take a second to process what I was seeing. What were the last results for comparison, says So DiCaprio? In 2022, and the previous election 2 years ago, the winning party was the centrist Ensemble Coalition, and they had 245 seats. The left-wing... Gosh, it wasn't. It was I believe this. The left-wing the left-wing alliance got 131 seats in the last election, and Le Pen's National Rally got 89. Again, there's also some other seats too, but in the 2022 election, it was 245 centrist, 131 left, and 89 right-wing. That was in 2022. Thank you to Rocky Coast for subscribing on Twitch. I appreciate that. Hey, hello to Euromaestro. Euromaestro is, might be Maestro. I never remember how to pronounce it, Euro. He is in. He might be in France right now. Hudzilla says, "Is this not manipulating the vote?" You know, it's a weird thing because, you know, there's arguments that can be made both ways. I mean, the thing is, though, like in some, there's this thing called ranked choice voting, which they don't have here. Where ranked choice voting is where you actually rank the candidates. So the thing is, if you have more than two candidates, you can have a situation where one candidate, where most people really don't want one candidate to win, but that candidate wins because the other candidates split their vote. So to avoid that kind of thing happening, there's a thing called ranked choice voting, which is people rank the candidates. You don't just vote for one. And then if your candidate doesn't do well, then they figure out like who your second choice is, and then they give your vote to the second choice, and so on. So, you know, this wasn't. They don't have ranked choice voting there, but the reason that the left and the center pulled candidates out is, I guess, a similar reasoning behind ranked choice voting is that they felt that there were people out there whose they thought that you could have a situation where some people got elected who most people really didn't want, but the vote would split against them otherwise. So I leave it to you to decide. I don't know. I mean, in terms of, in France, what people's opinion is of pulling candidates out, I'm not a French political expert. I don't know what the French political culture is like. I could see one place where people are like, oh, that's fine. I could see another world in which people in a certain place, in a certain culture are like, no, that's terrible to do that. I can't speak on to what people in France generally think about it. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the right in France who are mad about it now, but I don't know how the general idea of people pulling out of withdrawing from an election between the first and second round, how that's normally seen in France. In America, we don't have that, generally speaking. Generally speaking, in America, you have like a Republican and a Democrat running. Now, sometimes if there's a third-party candidate, there's a talk of the third-party candidate pulling out if they're not going to win and they're going to affect the vote. But this kind of situation is different than what we usually have in the U.S. Usually you don't have an election where like 3 candidates are going to get a good portion of the vote. But this happens in the U.S. in primary elections. This happens in primary elections in the U.S. where sometimes in primaries there's talk of whether certain people should pull out because they're just splitting the vote with somebody else, and then if they split the vote, then a third candidate will get elected instead. So that does come up in primaries sometimes, the idea of should somebody strategically pull out of an election. Anyways, that's what happened here. And then Euromaestro says it's not a cheat system. Some people prefer rank voting over first past the post. Look, ultimately people got to vote on who they wanted, and this is who they voted for. So again, I can't speak to this whole, how it's seen there in France generally to pull a candidate out. But when push came to shove, people showed up today and they knew who was on the ballot and they could vote for who they wanted to. It's not like candidates pulled out after the ballots were cast today. The candidates who pulled out did so before the election today happened. So people could go to the polls today. They knew who was running, they knew who was on the ballot, and they got their choice to vote. Sky News calls the result an absolute shock today, after the first round in which the right wing got the most votes. So Adam Parsons from Sky News says, seismic shock as bombshell exit poll puts national rally in third. He said, it is sensational after a week of us talking about a possible victory for this party. The estimations are that they have been beaten into third place. How exit are the exit polls? So I actually have seen two different exit polls. There's another one that's similar to this. So I'm not an expert, but I mean, the way I'm seeing this reported on widely suggests that these polls are reliable. Euromaestro says, this is not as surprising as it may first seem. The far right has done well before in the first round and then gets trounced in the second round. I mean, I don't even know. For all I know, they got about the same percentage of the vote they got in the first round as the second round as the first round. But the polling suggested, I was looking at a bunch of different polling, and the polling really all suggested that they were going to get, while not a majority, at least the most seats. And you can find poll after poll, article after article, various outlets and pollsters giving that projection before this election today. So my guess is that there's not a good chance of the exit polls being off. I don't know that for sure, but like, I'm not seeing that reported anywhere. I'm not seeing concerns expressed about it. So we'll see what, the results will take until the morning, I believe, to come out. Maybe the sun will come out later, but I was reading like it takes until the morning. But I'm not really I would think if there was a serious risk of that, if it was thought there was a serious risk, that would be reported on more. Even Jordan Bardella, the head of the National Rally Party, it's not like he came out and his big thing was, let's just wait and see the results. I mean, he was talking about this unholy, what was it? Not unholy, but he was criticizing the alliance and talking as if this result was, the exit poll were accurate. Red Squirrel says Jordan would have said something. Thomas Schofield says Le Pen is gaining enough seats to be a thorn in the other party's sides, and if they keep winning seats, ... All right, guys, well, look, we're going to be doing some hurricane coverage later today. So I think what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to wrap up our coverage of this. I don't have much more to tell you at the moment. And, if there's some huge news in this going forward, we can always do another live stream. But I think I'm going to take a little break so I can then get on the air and do some hurricane coverage. There's a hurricane that's supposed to hit in Texas next week, although I don't think it's a hurricane yet. But I'll do a quick check here, 2 seconds. It was close to a hurricane. Not a hurricane yet. So anyways, a surprising result today. The right-wing national rally was expected to get the most seats in this key election in France after getting the most votes last week in the first round. Surprisingly, it looks like they're going to get the third most seats after the center and the left kind of came together and withdrew a bunch of candidates before the second round so they would not split the vote. So the right wing, while it certainly made gains since 2 years ago, it's a disappointment for them because there was talk of them maybe having enough seats, well, even if they didn't get a majority, maybe having enough seats to be able to have a right-wing prime minister. So a very surprising result today after the poll suggested the right wing would get the most votes. It looks like people in France decided, it looks like the plan by the center and left to unite the anti-right-wing vote was successful in suppressing the number of, lowering the number of right-wing seats gained today. So a big surprise, given that the polling suggests the right wing would have the most seats. I saw one poll saying they would have between like 185 and 215, for example. So I was seeing numbers projecting them in the 200s. Anyways, that is what is happening. But also, this does leave no party in the majority in the lower house, which is in charge of domestic policy. So this is going to make it more difficult for Macron to govern, and his centrist coalition will no longer be in control of the lower house. So anyways, very interesting result. You can look at it a couple different ways. You can say the right-wing National Rally, which is a big anti-immigration party, in addition to other things, but an anti-immigration Eurosceptic party. They have certainly made gains from a couple of years ago, but they did significantly worse today than was anticipated they would do. So maybe one take on this is that a lot of people got scared of having them in power, and more people decided to vote against them at the last minute. I don't know. I haven't talked to voters there. Anyways, we're going to wrap this up for now. And I will be back later, I assume a little later on today, with some hurricane coverage. I just need to take a break and eat something. So I really, thanks to Boz for your support. I appreciate that, Boz. And I really appreciate you joining us for our live France election coverage today. I have enjoyed watching the results with you and talking to you about it. And I appreciate you sending in your thoughts and your news updates, and how people from Europe and France especially giving your perspective. And I don't know what time the hurricane stream will start. I just got to take a break. A little later today is the best. The best I can say is a little later today. Once I take a break and eat something, then I'll do a hurricane stream. I will, if there's huge news, I can do another live stream, and I will post, subscribe and follow Agenda Free TV. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda here. And also, real quick, I do have a X account at Lookner on X. I will be posting updates about this and other stories when I'm not on the air on my X account at Lookner on X. Follow me there. And subscribe and follow this channel, Agenda Free TV. Oh, Le Pen is speaking? I didn't see that. Is she speaking? Hold on. Why is no one showing it if she's speaking? I might show that. I see a video of her somewhere. Hold on. I might show it at the end, even though I don't get, I can't understand French. Hang on. I think I can pull it up here, maybe. I don't know that she's speaking, or is she like doing an interview or something. I see a video of her, which I'll try to show you in a second. But I don't see her speaking. Yeah, I'll put on the video of her. Give me 1 second while I'm talking to you guys. Where is it here? Hold on, I'm gonna get it up on the screen here. Not there, not there. That's not what I want to show you. Right here. There she is. There's Marine Le Pen right there. That's Marine Le Pen. Yeah, so she's not giving a speech, not right now. Anyways, I'm gonna keep wrapping it up here. She is with the National Rally. Basically the head of the party, even though she's not like the official head. Sorry, you know what I can do? Hold on. If you, I'll let you guys hear that, but I gotta do something to fix the audio. I don't know why they're not showing it over there. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll get you the audio for that. As we wrap up our coverage. Oh, and obviously the headline is messed up here. Sorry, the headline's all messed up here. Hang on. There she is. We'll fix this. There we go. Oh, it'll be fixed in a second. It'll be fixed in a second. One moment. One moment, please. One moment, please. Give it 2 seconds, guys. Let's refresh this. Oh, I know what happened. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Give it a second. She was just there. Might have to refresh it again. There it is. There she is. Hold on. Let me hit refresh again. The audio is a little messed up. Sorry. Can't even hear her anyway. I may just have to. Yeah, we're not even really. I don't even think they have a mic on the camera for her. Anyways, I'll sign off as we look at her. Hey, Euro says she looks sad. I'm sure she's not happy. She's like giving an interview right now. Hey, a big thanks to our moderators. Thanks so much to our moderators who have been with us today. Really appreciate it. For example, Sarah55, and Ruth Krafasi and RJ and everybody else who's moderating on YouTube. Richard Williams as well, big thanks. Over there on Twitch, David Green, I Got That Fire, Idaho Star, McBritches, Sarah, Papa Bear, all of our other Twitch mods, thank you. Our Facebook moderators, really appreciate you. Over there, give me 1 second. Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley. Paul Anderson. All of our Facebook mods, thank you. And our Linda Belk and Larry moderate for us on on X. Thank you so much. Oh, a quick thank you to Vicky Healy. Thanks so much, Vicky Healy. Vicky is happy with the election result. Thank you, Vicky, for your support of the channel. And we will have some hurricane coverage coming up after I take a break. There's Marine Le Pen of the National Rally Party right there. You are seeing her on camera via AFP. What was I going to say? Oh, sign up for our notifications. We have a special notification system we have created so that you get a notification every time we go live. I never know when big news is happening, usually. So you get notified. So you get notified whenever we go live for breaking news coverage. Sign up for the free notifications. The mods can post the link to the notifications in the chat. We do it through Discord. It works really well. So sign up for that. You can also find the notifications link in the description of this broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. And also, thanks to our Discord moderators, by the way, and at the same place as the notifications link, check out our Discord chat where you can, for free, chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. You can find that at the same link. And big thanks to everybody who donated to the channel. I really appreciate that. Your support is what keeps this channel on the air. So huge thanks for the donations. If you ever want to donate, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But big thank you. Hang on one second here. A quick reminder, I do have a personal channel where I sometimes do non-news live streaming. That is called, I'll show it to you here for a second, Lookner on YouTube and Look Nerd on Twitch. So you can check that out if you'd like for non-news live streams. Oops. All right, we lost that feed. We'll come back to me. I think, by the way, the Prime Minister, I'm going to get off the air, but I think the current Prime Minister speaking, yeah, the Prime Minister, Gabriel Attal, who I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. He is speaking right now. I don't think he'll be Prime Minister for long. He's with Macron's centrist coalition, but they didn't get the most seats. They're not anticipated to get the most seats, so it's likely that he won't keep being Prime Minister. But I'm getting off the air now. It's not in English anyway. Hey, let me say a quick thanks to our Facebook subscribers. I really appreciate all of you. Eve Richards, Billy Joe Drage, Kristen McConnell Gates, Robert Rial II, Margaret Riley, Kay Larry Body, all of our other subscribers who support the channel over there on Facebook. Big thanks. Also our Twitch subscribers, like Shaggy and Wall Street and McBritches. Big thanks. Agrajog TV. Big thanks. Three Soul, thanks for subscribing over there on Twitch. And Matthew Kohai 3, I got that fire, Allistic. Thanks to all of our subscribers over there. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate it. And all of our other subscribers over there. Rocky Coast, hello, howdy, thank you. When will there be a new prime minister? I saw an article. I don't know when that happens. Basically, I believe that the parliament has to agree on a new prime minister. So there's going to be, I believe there's going to be some kind of negotiation between, Macron technically has to appoint them, but I assume there'll be some kind of negotiation between the left wing and the center, because between them they have enough to support a new prime minister, but they're going to have to agree on someone. Yeah, Euromaestro says nobody has a majority in parliament, and that's a big problem. That is the, as Euronews says, it is unprecedented for no party to win a majority without any obvious ruling coalition. And France may now find itself in an unfamiliar deadlock. So they'll have to figure out, again, from what I understand, it's likely that he won't be prime minister, but they'll have to find someone who enough people are okay with. I don't know who that's going to be. And I don't know. I know this is AFP. I can't steal another channel's footage. I pay for the rights to show AFP. This is actually Reuters. I'm sorry. This is Reuters footage, but I don't have a translation for it, so I can't steal somebody else's footage. But I use the footage from Reuters and AFP. Hey, thanks to our YouTube members like Eamon O'Leary, Evelyn in Maine, Libalula, George Robardes, Nice Dog, Desi Jez, Janet Burnett, Sivlap, Will. These are some of our members over there. Will41S on YouTube. Marty Hagwood, Chris N, Janet Burnett, D Donut, Lunali Syria, Peasy Wheats, Daniel Boberson, Lois Cox, Susie Blout, Pam Turner, Jelly Plane. Thanks for being YouTube members. Pat Brett, Joe McD, Mira, Rose Garvey, SK Rain, PZ Papa Zulu. Yeah, one of our viewers said you can, I think France 24 is showing an English translation if you want to go see one of this. France 24, you can check that out. The student handicap writes to me and says that the UK in 2019, Farage pulled out of Conservative seats. It seems to be something people are only happy with if it benefits their side. Do you mean that Farage pulled out in the UK in 2019 to help get more right-wing people elected? I'm not even sure. I don't even know. It's a different country too. But yeah, so anyways, I guess what student handicap thinks that people on the right might not complain if the strategic withdrawing of candidates help their party. I can't speak to that. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for the comment, student handicap. So look, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. And thanks, Euro and other people who were commenting from France and from Europe. I really appreciate that. Christopher Young thinks there will be a hung government for the next 3 years until the presidential election in 2017. All right, guys, I'm wrapping this up. I got to take a break. I got to eat something before we do hurricane coverage. Okay? So, but again, a surprising result here. After all the polls, it seemed, were suggesting that the right-wing National Rally Party would come in first today with the number of seats. They came in third. Still making gains, according to the exit polling. Still making gains from 2 years ago, but disappointing for them to not be in first in this important election. All right, guys. All right, guys. So we're wrapping this up. Again, I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks to Zertron for watching. Some of our other viewers. Appreciate everybody in the chats there. Charlie Polvino, thanks for watching. Artist Caverlin. Amy Denice Linville. Audrey Burbank. Kurt Anders Wick. And all of our other viewers out there. All right, so I will be back later today with more coverage, of the hurricane. All right, that is what my plan is. That is my plan. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you again to the mods. That is it for now. And you've been watching our live coverage of the French election. We'll see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.